All right. Hello. Welcome to another installment of, you know, me and me alone and what goes on in here. But anyway, today I am going to speak about the seven natural laws of the universe. Sounds all amazing. Sounds all whoa, but it actually isn't. It's very simple. Through my findings, through a lot of things that I've seen in life and a lot of things that I've read, I stumbled upon them and a long time ago. But now, when things become practical, and you start applying them and you start seeing certain things actually, operates and everything, and it makes things interesting. So I figured, hey, why not share it with you guys? Because people just don't know certain things, and I figured, hey, there's no point in me keeping things to myself. That's very selfish. So. Seven natural laws of the universe. Let's hit it. Let's get it. All right. Many people have read this. What is that book? The Secret. Talks about the laws of attraction. That's great. Woohoo! Law of attraction. Yes. There's seven others, by the way, six others. So the law of attraction will be what we start with because everyone is used to that, right? How do these things work, and how to apply them, and what do they actually mean? That's what we're going to do for every single one of them. So, number one, law of attraction, which is basically the law of vibration. Okay, the law of attraction or the law of vibration says that every thought you have is energy. What you project to the universe or everything around you is basically brought back to you, because you need to understand that as a human being, as a person, you are all part of everything. Okay, we are all part of everything. Just because this is a computer and I am a human being and this is a set of keys, it doesn't mean that we are separate, because essentially all these things we are one. Okay, Buddha says that the one is a part of many and the many is a part of one. So nothing can coexist in isolation. Okay, it doesn't work that way, So the law of vibration basically says that it's like a mirror. Whatever you show into a mirror, it shows back to you. Okay, so the matter of people don't understand how powerful it is, how powerful our thoughts really are, and how powerful our thoughts generate certain things that happen around us. And you have to be very careful the way you think about things. You have to be very careful. If you're going to have a negative mentality to things, you're going to just be negative, because people understand that you're negative. If you're going to be positive about things and have a positive mentality, you'll attract positivity in your life. It's a weird thing. I don't know how it really comes together and everything, but it does. Just trust me, it does. Okay, but let's leave that one. So essentially, watch your thoughts, control what you think. Be careful of what you think. Okay. Let's go to the next one. The next natural law is the law of relativity. Okay. Now, the law of relativity says that anything in this world can be compared, can only be, its value can only be compared, its value can only be quantified or qualified if that thing is compared to something else. So the value of 50 its value can only be understood once it's compared to 49 or 51. So in comparison to 51, 50 is less. Compared to 49, 50 is higher. Okay, so how does this come together? It's a matter of understanding that at a moment in time, we always get upset about our lives because we always compare our lives to what we could be, or disparity with what we are and what we could be, and people around us. So we always compare ourselves to everyone else around us. So that's what gets us depressed, because now your life is useless in comparison to everyone else that you're comparing yourself to, right? And this is what we do with our thoughts. This is not something that happens as a result of emotions, something that you do with your thoughts, right? So essentially, how does it work? How does it come together? The law of relativity essentially, basically, it says to you that whenever you have a situation that's in front of you, you're sad about something or you're unhappy about something, think of something that is worse off than your situation, and you'll automatically feel better, just like that, because 50 can only be smaller or bigger once compared to somewhere else, right? So you have to get to a point where you start understanding that you can't keep comparing yourself to everyone else who's higher than you or better than you, because you're always going to be depressed. You're always going to be that value that's like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? It's one of those things that people do, okay? But that's fine. So essentially, always compare your situation to something else that's worse off, and you'll feel better automatically, all right? The next natural law is called the law of cause and effect, okay? The law of cause and effect, it says that every single cause has an effect, and every effect must have had a cause initially, okay? So, for you to want a certain effect, if you want a certain outcome in your life, if you want something to happen in effect, you have to actively work to be the cause of it. Okay? People always expect certain things. They expect so much in their lives, but they don't actively do something about it. You can't assume a passive role and expect life is going to happen for you. No. Right? For you to have any effect, you have to have a cause. But here's another thing people do, which goes to the next natural law. But before I get there, let me say, people always sometimes assume that there is a congruency between the cause and effect, that it must happen at the same time, not knowing that there might be a lag sometimes. If there's a cause, there's going to be an effect. Every action has an opposite, similar, and equal reaction, mutual theory. It's one of those things. Okay? So you can't, people talk about how, they're unhappy, they don't have income, they don't have this kind of thing, but they don't do things actively to go work towards them. They expect things to happen for them, and as a result, that's why we have a dependent nation right now, because they don't understand the principle. These small, tiny things. If you don't do something, you're not gonna achieve it. If you want a girl and she's there and you like her, you can't expect her to eventually somehow come towards you. You have to go out of your way to go meet her. If you don't, the chance is gone. It's that simple. Okay. After the law of cause and effect comes the law of gestation, right? The law of gestation says that everything has a time. Like so there's this Latin saying that says nihil est simul et inventem et perfectem. That means that nothing can be simultaneously conceived and perfected. So sometimes between the cause and effect there's going to be a lag. Okay? Things take time. Someone falls pregnant right now, then they only give birth 9 months later. They can't expect that after you give birth, after someone falls pregnant, they automatically conceive. No, it doesn't work that way. So you need to understand that every single thing that you do, once there's a cause, there has to be an effect, but there might be a lag between that. So you have to give things that you want to do a time frame. You have to give them time to actually become something. They have to manifest, because everything, it needs time. Right? So it's a matter of understanding that patience is something that you need to apply in your life. You can't just expect things to happen just like that. It doesn't work that way. Okay? So the law of cause and effect goes very beautifully with the law of gestation, because these things take time. Okay? No matter what you do, every cause has to have an effect. Every effect has to have had a cause. But gestation says some of these things take time. It's one of those things. Okay? Now, after that comes the natural law of rhythm. The natural law of rhythm says that everything basically has a rhythm. After winter comes summer. After night comes day. Okay? So you need to understand that as long as you're alive, right? Life doesn't maintain constant. It's never constant. So you can never expect your life to just be constant. You can't be happy all the time. It's one of those things. If you get into a relationship, it's nice in the beginning, then it goes down, and so on and so forth. It's ups and downs. You have to expect these kind of things. Don't act surprised when your life doesn't go the way you want it to go, because uncertainty is a huge thing compared to this tiny, small, microscopic view of certainty that we like applying for ourselves. So you need to understand that everything has a rhythm. So if you're having a high point in your life right now, everything's going great, you have to be able to expect and not be surprised when things start going a bit wrong. But understand, as long as you're alive, that's what's going to happen. That's the law of rhythm. So if you are going through the worst time of your life right now, you need to understand that it's not the end of the world. As long as you're still alive, there's going to be an upswing at some point. That's how it works. Economics works this way. Everything works this way. That's how it is. So you can't expect a constant level of life. Never ever do that. Expect ups and downs and embrace them, because those ups help you to basically accept your lows, and those lows help you to appreciate your highs. That's how the world works. You need to understand this. Okay. After that comes the law of polarity. Okay, which is one of my favorites, because for me, the law of polarity says that everything has an opposite. Up must have down, night must have day, and so on and so forth, right? But what it says is that basically, like something I wrote in my book was that a person can't fully embrace an entity if you can't mentally accept its inverse. Okay, so you can't. The concept of winning can't be applied if you don't accept the possibility of losing. Failing a person can only pass if they've accepted the possibility of failing. So these two things cannot exist without each other. Okay? So how does this work? It means that every single thing that is bad must have, for it to be bad, for it to even be classified as bad or a failure, it must mean then that has to be an opposite to that. Right? Which means that for me, when I meet people, I understand that, okay, as much as a person is horrible and they're bad and society might deem them to be disgusting, whatever it is, but I know that for every single good thing, there's a bad side. I mean, there's very good, there's a bad, and for every bad, there's a good. It's basically yin yang, right? So you need to understand that what you aren't right now, right? So if you're unhappy and you are sad and you're over your life and you're broke and everything, for you to be those things means that the opposite must apply. So you can work actively into changing what you are into the opposite of what you are right now, and that is the law of polarity. That's how it works. So you need to understand, look for the good in every single situation. If something is failing, it means that it possibly can pass or it can succeed if certain things are changed. And that's how it works. That's how the law of polarity actually is applied. That's how it comes together, right? And then finally comes the law of transmutation, which says that in your thoughts, all your thoughts or your vibrations in your mind basically they move in and out of form. So they come from the thought into reality, into the physical domain that we're in. And things come together in a certain way because your thoughts become reality the more you entertain them. Because like Bruce Lee said, that we become what we think about. So your thoughts eventually start becoming things that come into reality. Because I mean, you can look around you, look at everything that's around you, everything that's existed in this world comes from what comes from here. That's how it all comes together. That's what it's all about. So you need to understand that these natural laws all come together to make sure, they really just can't even say no about it. They're there for you and they work for you, and we've been given dominion over these things. And people need to understand that these things commonsensically apply. Okay, so law of transmutation says that energy, your thoughts move in different kind of situations. They attract certain kind of things because that's how the law of vibration works. Whatever you project into a mirror, it reflects back to you. That's how the world works. So you have to maintain a positive outlook to life. You have to understand different opposites. You have to understand that there's rhythm, there's time, there's cause and effect. So if you want a certain thing in your life, if you want to change your life, change it. If you hate your life, change it. Don't be upset about things working the way they want it to work out for you. It's one of those things. It's simple, really. So those are the 7 natural laws of the universe. That's what it is. Yeah. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Happy 2013. Hope you guys have a great year. I'm out.